love your mother? I said, in what area? In some areas she was a bigot, a racist, and so I didn't love her in that area. Do you understand that? That's why I kept saying love is not a constant, depends on many things. So, if you try to understand, we have to develop a language that's not subject to interpretation for the world. So, when the Arab world says no, they use the word la. That means maybe, not quite no. So you can't tell whether they surrender or not. It's hard to tell. And don't forget, all nations believe the way they were brought up is the right way. The way you were brought up is not right. And if you're Jewish, your concept of God is if a man takes your son's eye out, you take his son's eye out. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Jesus says if a man strikes you, turn the other cheek. All these gods are different. Which one do you believe in? Well, they're all stupid gods. They're made in the image of man. Man can't conceive of God. He's got a guy up in the clouds, you know, that makes a man and woman. Then he makes a snake which walked upright according to the Bible. And it said, eat of the fruit of knowledge. So they did, and he kicked them out of heaven. Then there were angels. God said, try to better yourself to Lucifer. And Lucifer said, gee, I'd like your throne. So he kicked all the angels out. They're called the fallen angels. So if God didn't have security up there, how the hell are you going to have it? So if you went to heaven and you looked down at the earth, you saw the Africans with the swollen bellies and the people in India begging in the streets, would that be heaven to you? If you can look down and see the earth? It's such a stupid story. I said before, if Noah's Ark carried 2 kinds of every animal, the boat would have been a mile long. And who cleans the shit out of that boat? So you see, all religion is very low grade. It's terrible stuff. They say God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that others might have eternal life and not perish. But the witnesses in the Bible say Jesus was crucified, he arose and ascended into heaven. Where's the sacrifice? No sacrifice. So, you see, if you really think when you're reading the Bible, I read the Bible instead of the comic strips, because it's so fantastic, so ridiculous, and you wonder how people can come out of church with a straight face. And so, I read of a young girl about 16 who said she was about to get in an airliner, and she said something came over her. She doesn't know what it is. And Jesus saved her. It took off, crashed immediately, and 150 people were killed, and Jesus saved me. So I read in an article, or heard on the radio or television, that she was going to speak at the Hollywood Presbyterian Church in the U.S. So I went there, and she told the whole congregation how Jesus saved her. They all stood up and says, amen, God bless you. So I walked up to the pulpit and said, he didn't want you, he wanted 150 people. Think about it. Who the hell are you? And America always tells God who to bless. God bless America. Who the hell are you to tell God who to bless? They don't even know how stupid they sound. You know, and what are you going to do with a country like that? The more ignorant the people, the longer the transition. I'm sorry, I wish I can effect a translation overnight, but there's going to be a lot of trouble. Understand that. Yes.
Where do you think that the Zeitgeist movement is the strongest in the world at the moment?
Where is the Zeitgeist movement the strongest in the world right now?
I imagine it's in America, and it's growing all over the world.
I don't think so. We can let you know better after this trip.
Would you like to appear on the national TV?
They won't let me on.
Yes, we would.
Because first time I watched this Zeitgeist addendum, I actually watched it on the TV in Romania. Like the whole country could see it.
Good, fabulous.
Yeah. If you want to come to Romania.
I don't think Romania is one of our stops. I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
Then we can put you on the national TV at probably 8 o'clock in the evening.
Arrange that?
Even in this
Try and
country,
make it.
Yeah.
I don't think we've been invited to any TV TV station
It's
so
very
far.
popular in Romania. That's why I'm asking you. I don't know where is the strongest right now.
It's not in the States. Yeah, I mean, there are a
You
lot of
know-
people that signed up, but we're totally banned in the news on the States or anything. We had one little few-minute place on Fox News, which is the most conservative news station. It was very strange.
And
They
they
did a
were
good job.
positive, Fox News.
Good.
And I think that any station, if they understood what I was talking about, they're afraid, they think I'm a communist. Communism uses money. It has armies and navies. It has social stratification. It has banks, prisons, police. We don't have any of that stuff. We have nothing in common with any existing system. No.
What about the volcanoes?
What about it?
I saw an interview with you in 1974. When you said that catching the power of a volcano could actually power the entire world. Did anybody did any calculation about such things?
Can you hear that?
No, I couldn't
He's
hear.
asking about when you were on Larry King in '74, you
Yes.
talked about catching the power of a volcano. Has
Yeah.
anybody done that?
And anybody,
In,
and anybody
in
calculated-
California, Italy,
Well, geothermal power. he's talking
geothermal
about.
power.
Okay.
That's,
Iceland is completely
built.
geothermal, pretty much.
Iceland grows bananas and oranges all year round. They give them to kids in Iceland. They have a glass building and they have steam coming up and they use that. So imagine if you had geothermal energy, the geologists tell me there's enough energy in the earth itself, just the heat, for thousands and thousands of years. Then there's the waves of the ocean. They move up and down, they can generate electricity. Then there's a temperature difference between the upper region of the ocean and the depth. The temperature difference can generate electricity. Then there's taking wire like antimony and bismuth and twisting them together, put a match on one end and the other and it becomes ice cold. So if you made your rooftop of the dissimilar metals, the sun shining on it hot makes the inside of the metal cold. So you need no air conditioning. People don't understand what technology can do. They say, sometimes a woman comes over and says, there's too much technology in the world today. So I say, I'm coming to your house tomorrow, take your refrigerator, washing machine. They don't know that, and they also ask another question, can the machine be better than the designer? And I know a little guy that designed a machine to pick up a freight train and empty it. He can't do that. Now you go to any modern factory today where they produce Coca-Cola or anything, the machine injects all these bottles in instant with the juice right away. No man can do that. He can't move the bottles along the production line like machines do. So machines will not take over. They will dominate. Now I want to try to make sure you understand, they tell you that the machines are going to take over and everybody will be ruled by machines. I'm sure you heard that crap. That comes from Hollywood. Here's why they won't take over. First of all, they have no feelings. If you had a laptop and I smashed it in front of 20 laptops, we'll get you. If it isn't this week or next week, we'll get you. Machines don't care. If you ran your laptop Saturday, Sunday, Monday, give me a day off, will you? They don't care. Machines have no ambition. They don't want to rule people. That's a human attribute. So the message is this, that when I was a kid, a man would look out of an airplane and he'd say, I'm about 1.5 miles high. With Doppler radar, goes down, hits the air, come back, and says you're 5,330 inches off the ground. No human can do that. 9 months ago, computers can handle 1,000 trillion bits of information per second. No group of humans can do that. So, is it a machine takeover? No. They'll be assigned these tasks. In airplanes today, you're safer when the machine tells the pilot exactly how high he is. Do you understand? Otherwise, he just guesses. So, when you have machines that are really intelligent, say an airplane's coming in for a landing on 6 separate circuits, not one computer, 6 separate circuits, and there's a crack in the runway due to an earthquake, the machine will fly around it. It depends on how smart the designer is. Most machines are dumb. I mean, they reflect the designer. But you can design automobiles with sensors on it. So if you got mad at me and you tried to drive your car into my car, it would stop. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when I was a kid, if you worked in an automobile factory, they shaped fenders and parts of the car by machine. If a guy put his hand in there, when the machine came down, he lost his hand. But today there's sensitive devices. When you put the hand in, the machine stops. I don't know if you know that. When I was a kid, women used to operate elevators. They turned the crank, never quite got to the floor. I was working up and back. Today you press 20, it stops exactly there. All human systems are obsolete. If you don't understand that, let's say you're a dermatologist. You work on skin diseases. Now, when you go to medical school, they say this is psoriasis, this is measles. They tell you got to remember those images. In the next 10 years, you hold your hand up and it's scanned, and it gives you the latest treatment. You don't need a diagnostician. You can make it in an hour and a half in a laptop. Most lawyers will be phased out. 15 years, most engineers will be phased out. You can make a laptop, it won't look like the ones today, and you talk to it, you say, I want a 17-story building, I want it to be used for medical research, and in the meantime it's connected to all the other industries. Right now, laptops are connected to people. In the future, it'll be connected to the farms, production centers. Every lab will be connected. So when you find the answer to heart disease, the lights will blink and say, now we can work on cystic fibrosis. See, in other words, a lot of research will be done by machines, too. And then machines will eventually surpass people in ideas, mathematics, chemistry, but not feelings. Machines do not have feelings. They don't, when something breaks, they say, oh my God, how awful that is. They don't have that. So don't worry about machines taking over. Hollywood does that. Machines take over. But in the real world, they don't. Real world, machines don't care. I don't know how I can tell you that. When a soldier operates a guided missile to kill people, it's man that pollutes the atmosphere. It's man that kills fellow man. It's man that dumps poisons into the ocean. If you didn't know that, the U.S. Army dumped 65 tons of nerve gas off the coast of Miami. So how can you love the country? Soldier says orders are orders. The soldier is a pinhead, obviously. So we have no soldiers in the future, and nobody obeys me. There's nobody that tells you what to do. All man-made laws are full of shit. Only laws that count is natural law. If you don't get nutritious food or enough sleep, you get sick. Those are the real laws. We have to find out how we relate to nature, but not man-made laws. Man signs treaties with other nations. If that treaty doesn't serve their interest, they violate it. U.S. violates many treaties, so does Japan. It doesn't mean a thing. A marriage certificate doesn't mean that the guy is going to be loyal to you. That depends on his sex drive. You understand what I mean? If you love another person, no person can cause you to separate. If you love another person, love, the word love will be thrown out in the future, and in its place will be extensionality, meaning how extensional are you to that person? How do you enhance their lives? So if you meet a guy and he's extensional, he's interested in your field, whatever you do, he wants to know, and you both share ideas, you grow together. But if he goes out and travels and you just wipe the baby's ass and send it to school and cook, you're retarded. You understand? Now, some people are going to get mad at me. Children in the future diminish considerably, because somebody once asked Roxanne, do you have any children? She said, that's my only gift to the world. No children. So you have children, and they're a pain in the ass. They say the same thing over again. Light, glass, Daddy, chair, light, ketchup, you know. And they don't say anything new. They're boring as shit. and if you don't understand me, if you already have children, you have to learn how to handle them. You're not allowed to touch a jet engine unless you go to school for a long time. But anybody can raise a kid. I want to tell you how I raised my kid.